Okie doke. So, fractions, part 1. So hopefully you had time to watch the A&W video and you played the rewriting positive and negative fractions game. So, what did we learn? Well, we learned that if you have a negative up top and a positive on the bottom, it's the same as if you have a negative out front. It's the same as if there's a negative on the bottom. So if there's one negative, our fraction is negative overall. And if there's two negatives, so if I have a negative 3 over negative 4, then that's going to give me a positive 3 over 4. So something that looks like this is going to give me this. All right, so hopefully that's what you noticed. Okay, comparing and ordering fractions. So when we have something with the same denominator, if the denominators are the same, the fraction with the greatest numerator has the greatest value. So that means 2/5 is less than 3/5. So we always write our symbol here as like an alligator that's wanting to eat the bigger one. So the bigger one here is 3/5. And so we put that towards that and we say that 2/5 is less than 3/5. If you have the same numerator, if the numerators are the same, the fraction with the smallest denominator has the greatest value. And that just means that you've divided your pizza into fewer pieces. So if you have 3/4 versus 3/5, if I've divided my pizza into quarters, I'm going to get bigger slices than if I divided it into 5 pieces, which means 3/4 is bigger than 3/5, is greater than, because my crocodile wants to eat the larger one. All right. If different numbers have different numerators and denominators, then you have to change the fractions into the lowest common denominator. So to do that, for anybody who's a little bit rusty from last year, our lowest common denominator in this case is 12. So that means I'm taking 2/3, and I've got 2/3 to have a lowest common denominator of 12. It means I have to multiply top and bottom by 4. Will give me 8 over 12. And to do the same thing over here, if I've got to get to 12, I want to multiply top and bottom by 3. It'll give me 9 over 12. And I can see very plainly that 9 over 12 is bigger than 8 over 12. So that means 3/4 is bigger than 2/3. Okay, so try the next piece on your own. Put each set of fractions in order from least to greatest. Pause and come back to check your answer. Okay, so hopefully you've had a chance to try these on your own. So smallest to biggest. So here, remember that if the numerators are all the same, then the smallest denominator has the greatest value. If we're looking for least to greatest, then we start at 9, 7, 6, 5, and 4. Okay? If my denominator is the same, this is the easiest. The smallest is the numerator. 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. Easy. And for this one's funny, actually, because they ended up in exactly the order that they would have. So 1/4 is the same as 2/8, 1/2 is 4/8, 3/4 is 6/8. And if we look, 2/8 is the smallest number, which is 1/4, then 3/8, then 4/8, then 6/8, then 7/8. So they were already in the correct order, which is kind of funny. Okay, so pause the video at this point and go and try out the task card activity with your partner and check your solutions. Solutions are posted on the classroom. When you're done that, come on back. We're starting at about the 4-minute mark. Okie doke. Here we go. So for equivalent fractions and reducing fractions. So hopefully what you noticed about equivalent fractions, which is very similar to what we said on the front. So if you have something like this, so you have 3/11 or 6/19, you could change these both to have a common denominator, or you could notice that the numerators are really close here. So if I need to figure out which one's bigger, I can do 3/11 is the same as 6/22, and then compare the denominators, because my numerators are the same. So then I can see that 6/19 is going to be bigger than 6/22. So there's a nice little shortcut for you. Reducing fractions, same as creating greatest common factor. Lowest common factor is dividing fraction. So if you're reducing, instead of multiplying top and bottom, we are dividing top and bottom. So 9/15, both 9 and 15 divide by 3, gives you 3/5. 16 and 24 each divide by 8 gives you 2/3. And as you can see, there's a lot of white out here. That's because it is late and I am tired. So I am making all kinds of writing errors as I go. But lucky for you, you're working in pencil, not pen like me. Okay, so if you're changing from improper to mixed fractions, your first step should be to divide the numerator by the denominator. So 6 divided by 5 gives me 1. Write down the whole number, 1. Write the remainder over the denominator. So if I've already used this 5, that means I have 1 left over for 1/5. If I'm switching from mixed to improper, it's basically the same thing in reverse. So multiply the whole number by the denominator. So 2 times 4 is 8. And add that number to the numerator. So 8 plus 1 is 9. So it gives me 9/4. Okay? All right, now it's your turn. Write the following negative fractions in descending order. So you're going to try that. And whoops, pause it first. Try it out. And here we go. There's your answer. And then this one down here, answers are going to vary. Try it out. See if you can get one of the answers. So the idea is that you need to make sure that these are all in the smallest to largest by row and by column. There's many, many ways to answer it. So see if you can figure it out. Compare it to your shoulder partner. When you're done that, you can get started on your homework. I'd like you to try at least 5 problems from each of the activities that I have posted online. All right, and I will see you tomorrow.